The Silent Symphony. The cafeteria at Westwood High buzzed with the hum of conversation, trays clattering as students rushed to grab their lunches. At the far end of the room, next to a towering rack of stacked chairs, stood James Carter, the school janitor. At 64, his body bore the weight of a lifetime of hard work. His deep brown skin glistened under the flickering fluorescent lights, and his worn-out boots shuffled across the polished floor. Most students paid him little mind. He was just Mr. Carter, the man who mopped the floors, unclogged the toilets, and nodded politely when teachers passed. But today, something was different. At the center of the room stood Principal Whitaker, an aging man with sharp eyes and an ever-present smirk. A baby grand piano had just been delivered for the upcoming winter recital, and some of the students had been fooling around on its glossy keys, filling the room with awkward, discordant notes. Principal Whitaker turned toward Mr. Carter, his voice laced with condescension. "Hey, Carter. You ever play one of these things?" A few students snickered. Mr. Carter paused, tightening his grip on the mop handle. He had heard that tone before, the kind used when people expected nothing of him. He glanced at the piano, a glimmer of something unreadable flickering across his tired eyes. "A little," he murmured. Whitaker chuckled, gesturing toward the bench. "Go ahead, then. Show us what you got." The students turned, intrigued. Phones emerged from pockets, ready to record what they assumed would be a clumsy attempt, something to laugh about later. Mr. Carter hesitated, his fingers brushing against the smooth ivory keys. It had been years, decades, really, since he had last played. But some things, he knew, never truly left you. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and placed his fingers firmly on the keys. Then, he began to play. A single note hung in the air, delicate as a whisper. Then another. And another. The melody unfurled like a bird stretching its wings, soft and steady, weaving through the room. It was Clair de Lune, Debussy's haunting masterpiece. The cafeteria, once noisy and chaotic, fell utterly silent. Conversations halted, trays stilled midair. Even the principal's smirk vanished. The music swelled, rising and falling like the ocean, each note carrying a lifetime of emotion. As Mr. Carter played, his mind drifted to another time, a time when he was not just a janitor. 50 years ago, he had been a prodigy. A boy from the South with gifted hands, playing in church halls and concert rooms. But life had other plans. His father fell ill, and with no money for care, James had given up his dream to work, first as a laborer, then as a janitor. The world had forgotten his music. But his hands, they had never forgotten. When the final note faded, the silence was deafening. A single tear slipped down the cheek of a freshman girl. A football player blinked rapidly, as if seeing Mr. Carter for the first time. Even Whitaker, for all his arrogance, was at a loss for words. Then, applause. It started slow, hesitant, then grew, rising into a thunderous ovation. Students stood, clapping, cheering. Some wiped their eyes. Mr. Carter slowly rose from the bench, his face unreadable. He glanced at Principal Whitaker, who looked as though he wished he could sink into the floor. "Where did you learn to play like that?" a voice asked. Mr. Carter smiled softly. "Just a little practice." Word spread like wildfire. That night, a student's video of the performance went viral, drawing millions of views. The next day, the school's music teacher begged Mr. Carter to teach a class. By the end of the week, the school board approved a new music program, with none other than James Carter at its helm. And just like that, a janitor became what he had always been, a musician, a teacher, an inspiration. As for Principal Whitaker, he never underestimated Mr. Carter again. The world often overlooks the quiet ones, the ones who move unseen through hallways and classrooms. But sometimes, all it takes is a single moment, a single song, to remind everyone of the greatness that lives among them. And on that day, in a humble school cafeteria, a forgotten melody made the whole world listen.